Hi everyone, it's Fabe Keily here from Real Woman Global. Welcome back to Empowered Woman TV with the beautiful Kerrie Atherton.
Hi.
So for those of you who didn't see our Facebook Live, Kerrie did a bit of an intro, just sharing a little bit about her personal story and why she's been working for over 35 years now as an addictions and trauma recovery specialist. It's her personal story that actually gave her the inspiration to do what she does now and help, literally thousands of people all over the world. So great to have you here today, Kerrie.
Thanks, Fabe.
So one of the questions that people have been asking, and Kerrie gets asked a lot, is what is the difference between an alcoholic and a social drinker? So Kerrie, can you shed a bit of light on that for us?
Yeah, sure. So the difference between an alcoholic and a social drinker is a social drinker can go out, depends on your tolerance, 1, 2, 3, but there's really no great ongoing repercussions for the drinking.
Yep.
And have a good night. Sometimes people do things that they regret when they're drunk because their moral code goes to sleep,
Right.
basically. But the difference between that and an alcoholic is with an alcoholic they can't stop at one drink, and there's a classic trait is a personality change as well.
Right.
And I guess the question, when I entered the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous at 18, and I saw many, many, many different people from all kinds of professions, from pilots, politicians, doctors, people on the street that were homeless. It's no respecter of persons,
Right.
Alcoholism.
Right.
And the question that they tell us to ask ourselves is alcohol costing you more than money? So is it costing you relationships? Is it costing you self-esteem? Is it costing you days off work? Is it costing you your health? So if alcohol starts to cost more than money, there's a very, very big chance that it's a problem in your life and you could be an alcoholic or could have addiction problems to it.
Okay. So I remember growing up in my family, my dad would come home most nights after working really hard all day, but having drunk a lot, and probably the next day he wouldn't even remember what he'd said or what he'd done.
Yeah.
Would that be typical for someone, like if they can't remember what they've actually said or done the next day, that's an indicator?
Yeah, blackouts is really a big sign of later stages of alcoholism as well. I've had blackouts, and it's like you just lose a whole period of time where you're actually up and operating and talking to people, but you have no recollection of what's gone on. And that definitely is a big indicator.
Okay.
If you're having blackouts, that you are an alcoholic.
Right. So culturally in Australia, I don't know what it's like around the rest of the globe, but we have a culture where young people and, middle-aged and older people, we tend to get involved in binge drinking. Is binge drinking, does that qualify you as an alcoholic?
The binge drinking alone doesn't. Like you said, Babe, it's a bit of a culture with young people to go out and binge drink, and I think it's because they just lack the wisdom to know when to stop.
Right.
But a question that people ask me often, and often I think they're talking about themselves, but they put it in the form of, my husband or my partner, or they don't drink every night, so surely they can't be an alcoholic. They only drink on the weekends, or they won't drink for a couple of weeks and then they'll go on it for 4 days. Those people can definitely be alcoholics. Binge drinking is also a classic sign of alcoholism, but it's really gets back to, again, what happens when you drink. Do you have a personality change? Do you have blackouts? Is there consequences? And are loved ones saying to you, I think you have a problem? Are you losing friends? Classic signs of alcoholism.
Okay. All right, that's great to know. So stay tuned for the next episode of Empower Women TV. Kerrie's going to go into a little bit more detail on just the symptoms of depression, because often depression is a key precursor to becoming addicted. Would that be right, Kerrie?
Yes, it can be, yes.
Yep. So, and she's also going to cover off in that episode what are some practical steps that you can take to help someone who's really depressed. Obviously, it's big across our nation here in Australia and across the globe, so really practical insights. So stay tuned for the next episode of Empowered Women TV with Kerrie Atherton.
Thanks, bye.
Bye.